Okay, so one of the key parts of my office space over here is going to be this 49-inch LG monitor. It's an ultra-wide monitor. It's essentially having two 27s put together. And when I'm editing video, it's helpful to have just the entire timeline put together on one little screen. But before we get to that, let's take a little quick tour on the little space here. Okay, so this is just the view facing my general desk. I built this desk. It's made on two metal legs and some plywood and some wood lath that I had together. I slapped together to create a thick top. The benefit of this thick top is I can mount all these different mounts. And so I'll spend a little bit of time going through each one of these components. But overall, looking from left to right, I have a Rode PSA boom arm with my Shure SM7B. There's the Blue Yeti mic just sitting there. I'll eventually move that away. On the desk, I got the Rodecaster Pro. That does the audio processing. So when I'm working with live video or I'm in a Zoom meeting, it does all the audio processing in the hardware before it sends it into my computer. At the center, I got the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro. That's the switcher for various different HDMI sources. Then I have an Elgato Stream Deck, and I use that primarily when I'm in Zoom meetings. I'll be able to unmute myself, and you can program it for various different hotkeys. I haven't really fully used all its functionality, but it's there. I got a Mac Mini running just as my primary computer up here, and I keep a laptop for when I'm mobile. So when I'm up here, it's a Mac Mini M1. It's a great video editor. And of course, at the center of this whole thing is the LG 49-inch ultra-wide monitor, which basically takes up my entire desk. I got two monitors at the very top. That top one on the right is it's a monitoring. It's for the ATEM system, so I can see my various different sources, my program preview screens. And the monitor at the very top left, I use that's dedicated for a desktop view that I have running to my ATEM Mini. It's not working today. I got to do some troubleshooting, so we'll just ignore that for now. And in terms of lighting sources, I have a Godox SL60. So it's with a softbox, and I have, I think, just another generic LED panel, Godox LED panel on the right. Just two different sources over there. And let's break apart some other location. So I used to store all my stuff just in boxes, and that just was not working very well. And I got this fairly inexpensive Husky toolbox for $129 at Home Depot. It was really heavy to carry up those stairs, but I got it upstairs. And in these little panels, I have just my various different parts, screws, adapters, tripods, every tiny little component. And on top there, I have just a big battery bank that I'll bring on site when I need power and I can't plug in. And just, of course, a couple old analog. It's a Remington travel writer typewriter. It actually works. Kind of cool. And then on the side here, I have an IKEA LAC bookshelf. Eventually I'm going to put in some storage solutions in there to cover it up, but I have just my papers and various different things, and then a collection of old analog cameras over here just for decoration purposes. There I have actually, it's just for personal memory. It is my first iPhone. It's the iPhone, the original, the OG 4GB iPhone, and alongside with the iPhone 10. So 10 years later, upgrade to the iPhone 10. And in the center here is the Grid system. I believe it's a company that what they do is they take phones, they tear it apart into its components, and then mount it on this cool frame. So that's an iPhone 4S. I think I had one of those phones as well, one of my favorite phones at the time. So mostly this is just storage. So there's an unused pipe. It's a metal pipe that floats through the space over here. And I use these Manfrotto super clamps, and it clamps onto the pipe. So from there I can attach a tripod, or in this case I have attached my Rotolight LED light. Acts as a backlight for me over there. This over here is my dedicated analog workspace. I use it primarily just when I need to get away from the computer. I have a roll of paper that's sitting there. I have some Neuland markers that's attached to the wall via Velcro. And basically this space here is dedicated for just analog work. Work when I want to get away from the digital screen. I can touch, feel, engage again with the physical world. It's blackboard paint back there, so I painted the wall with blackboard chalk markers, paint, and I can write on it with my chalk marker. Okay, so now let's take a look at some of the detailed components of the desk setup here. I have two mics over here. I have the Shure SM7B, which is the classic podcast mic that everyone has. I personally like it. I know a lot of people. I personally like it. I think my voice probably sounds the best with that mic. And on this side over here, This is the Electro Voice RE20, also a mic that is fairly popular among podcasters. I like it just because of its unique kind of metal rugged design, and it's something I've been using. It's my first good mic as part of my collection. So there's my I have my Fuji X-T3 that's mounted on these Elgato arms and with a little tripod ball head right there. And this allows me to swing the camera around. I can even place the camera in front of the screen when I'm doing high profile Zoom meetings and I want to look like I'm looking to the camera. But again, like you'll see, the general theme is there's lots of mounting options, and that's part of the whole appeal of this whole system here. Now, although I have a lot of camera equipment up there, I also have the Logitech Brio. It's a popular and expensive webcam, although in my experience, I really don't like it, but it acts as a backup. So in the event where none of my cameras work, the A10 Mini is not working, I can always fall back on it because up here, I don't have my laptop webcam ready to go. So this acts as a backup webcam. Okay, and this is the Rodecaster Pro. For me, this is the heart of my system. I know a lot of people will say that the A10 Mini should be the heart of your system. For me, I think audio is probably the most important part. I like the Rodecaster Pro because it has all the audio processing. It does limiters, compressors, all the things I don't understand for me. And so all I have to do is plug in my XLR input. So that's my Shure SM7B or my Electro Voice RE20. And those mics then go into this device, gets audio processing, and that signal gets sent to USB to my computer. So for me, this has been just my core. I record a few podcasts on it. I can record phone calls as they come in. Just remember to get permission before you do that. So again, on my desk over here, I have the A10 Mini Pro. This allows me to put in 4 HDMI sources. So in this case, I have an A cam and a B cam. I have an overhead cam, so typically when I'll do something where I have to sketch on my table here, and I have a dedicated HDMI source to my computer. Now it's not working today. I have to troubleshoot my splitter, but essentially I have a splitter that splits the HDMI source coming out of my computer to both the A10 Mini and also the desktop. So with that configuration, that allows me to share my desktop via the A10 Mini. So if I'm in a Zoom meeting or in whatever meeting I need to share my desktop, I can switch over there, move over screen into this dedicated screen, and that allows me to essentially do hardware-based screen sharing. So I really enjoy that. Now, some of you have asked about the Stream Deck and how I use it. I'm not a hardcore streamer, so I don't have it configured for everything necessary to do so. But what I do use the Stream Deck for is for muting, turning off my video, turning on the lights. It integrates with Philips Hue, and most of my lights up here are Philips Hue. And you can trigger a number of different things, including play on PowerPoint and so on and so forth. The Stream Deck, I haven't fully used it to its full potential, but it does some really rudimentary basic things. It was kind of a splurge purchase, but part of the deal here. Here's the Keychron. I don't know the exact model, but I really enjoyed kind of switching to a mechanical keyboard while I'm working. So this has been just a joy and pleasure to work with. Now, this is an incredibly small space. It's the kind of entranceway to my bedroom up in the attic here. It's probably, we're looking about 6 feet by 10 feet or so 60 square feet, incredibly small, but I have a lot packed in here. Okay, so I'm here in my editing station. I got my headphones on, editing this video file here, and just looking at this 49-inch screen. I got quite a bit of distraction, so that's one of the downsides of having a big monitor, so you can have a lot of screens up. But what I have over here is just a transcript of a video that I'm working through and cutting all the different files, getting that story put together. And now that I've finished the rough edit over here, I'm going to start putting some B-roll in and covering up some of my jump cuts because of this style of video, they don't want to see the jump cuts. And so that's the general approach right now. And kind of this is my little sanctuary space where I can kind of stay focused and edit this video. So I just knocked out 3 videos today in this little desk station over here. I think one of the benefits of having just this space over here is I can lay out everything all at once and kind of see the big picture, but then get into the details. I think the one thing that's missing is this is probably not the best for color accuracy, so I could probably use a dedicated screen for the coloring work. But I'm not at that level yet. Otherwise, I really like this. This is awesome. Lots you can do with it. And I'm gonna keep working in space. I'll get back in a little bit. So there we have it. That's the tour, my 2021 setup. I likely will be making some slight modifications, but nothing substantial. I've spent quite a bit of money up in the space. So at this point, it's just really making some content, really creating some other stuff out of this. From here on out, I'd like to just try doing more of the show, but not necessarily tell, because this has been lots of kind of vlogging, talking, and I'd like to kind of make a few more short videos on how I actually use this space. Now, I run a separate channel called 1980. It's my business. I am going to start producing content around how to put all this together, creating tutorials, and so look out in the future video from here. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.